A principal at Noir Designs once told me about an RFI that ended up costing the project for more than anyone expected. A contractor called from the site with what sounded like a simple question. There was a small discrepancy between two drawings and they needed clarification before they proceeded. Design team discussed it, responded, and the work continued. On paper, it looked like a routine construction query, but when the principal looked back on it a few weeks later, he realized something. The expensive part was not answering the RFI itself. The expensive part was that the question had reached the construction site in the first place. And that's why we shouldn't see RFIs as a construction phase problem, as an execution problem. I think they're operational problems that just getting revealed during construction. That construction phase is finally exposed. People often say that construction is where projects become expensive, but I don't think that's true. I think construction is where mistakes, misses of the old phases, expensive decisions finally begin to reveal themselves. They begin visible. Take an RFP on a surface. What is it? It's just a vendor asking a question. But ask yourself something. Why did that question need to be asked at all? Was information missing? Were two drawings inconsistent? Did somebody make an assumption which should not have been made? Was there a decision that simply was left unresolved because at that time we didn't find it to be too urgent? The RFI itself is not a problem, it never has been. It's just evidence that there is a problem somewhere, that uncertainty has finally reached the actual site during the construction phase. And by then, it's already become way too expensive to fix. The same is true for variations as well. We often talk about variations as if they begin the moment that a contractor submits a claim or gives us a call. But I think we can all agree that most variations they actually begin much earlier. At least the root cause is much earlier, right? And probably it's with an undefined extra stakeholder who decided to waltz in at the last time. We never discovered him earlier. Or maybe there was a brief that wasn't fully aligned, or maybe there was a design decision that wasn't approved, or it was approved, but we never thought about the complete downstream impact of it. Maybe it was taste drift. We did not recognize taste drift until months later, or perhaps the facts of the project had genuinely changed somewhere, but nobody realized that these changing facts are going to have this impact on the scope as well. See, construction isn't creating these problems, it's revealing them, and that's why it becomes so expensive because by the time things reach the construction stage, it's often going to require lots of rework and lots of coordination. Because every question now carries the cost of mobilization, of procurement, of scheduling, of coordination, and the cost of teams sitting idle at the site. A decision that probably would have taken 10 minutes earlier is now going to cause delays with the trades, affect the deployment, trigger the contract discussions, and create variation claims. The decision itself has not become more complicated. The consequence of making it in time or not in time, late, that's become consequential. So, what should firms do differently? The first thing is to stop treating RFIs as a source of problem or interruptions. RFIs are not, they're not, they're just data and signal because every recurring RFI is signaling to you. It's telling you something is fundamentally broken about your operating system, which is allowing these RFIs to constantly recur. Maybe the design decisions, maybe the drawings themselves are unclear. Maybe there's some consultant that always requires extra consultation and clarification on every project. Maybe there's a decision that we constantly, for some reason, defer every time instead of resolving it at the right time. Is information breaking down before it reaches the site? There has to be something, right? And these patterns, when you look for them, will begin to emerge. These patterns will matter because they will tell you as they emerge what this uncertainty, what the uncertainty there is that's consistently entering your projects through potential blind spots in your operating system. The second thing is to stop treating variations as an emotional issue. They're not. They have to be tied to documented facts. What changed? Why did it change? Who approved the change? What assumptions existed before the change? And what impact does that have on the program, on the cost, and on the scope? Once everyone agrees on these facts, on these fundamental truths, The conversations are going to become much less about opinions and much more about reality and solving them. And that's exactly how we think about it at Immaculate Platform. Every variation, every change should be traceable, not just the moment that it appears on the site, but back to the operational decision that created it. Because if you only document the fact that a variation happens, but you don't document why it happened, then you're just documenting the symptom, not the disease. If you trace it back to the source, then you found the opportunity to cure the disease, to improve the way your fundamental underlying business model operates. And that's how current projects are going to make future projects better through daily learnings. If you're interested in building an operating system, an underlying operating model for your firm that prevents uncertainty instead of simply reacting to it, consider subscribing. We explore the operational principles that help architects and interior designers help improve their underlying businesses, their firms, not just each individual project. Everything you've seen in this video and will continue to see as part of videos in this series is based on principles that we've spent years building into the Immaculate Platform. If you'd like to experience them inside an operating system built ground up purely for design and architecture firms, start your free trial today at immaculate.co.in/trial. Thank you.